I'm going to just riff on that for a second. Let's go back to the theme of your messaging. So if you are like, my store is doing family friendly, safe events that are in the spirit of the holiday season. The wording is kind of off on that, but that, and then we're going to do candle making, we're going to do bird watching, and we're going to do puzzles, or whatever those things are. Then that's like the union would say, yeah, we'll do an article on family friendly, at home, safe, inexpensive, whatever things that we could do with our family. That's a good story, because everyone wants that. We're going to be cooped up in our house with a small group of people for a long time, and it's the holidays. So great. Now you're starting with your plan, and you're like, I'm going to do an event once a week or every day. That's great content. Oh, now I need to put the candle making package together. I need to put the bird watching package together, and I need to put the board game package together. And when you're marketing, you're not marketing everything in your store. You're marketing your candle making thing, your bird watching thing, and your board game thing. So your messaging isn't all over the place. And the theme of that is family friendly, safe, old-timey, good old-fashioned fun, family togetherness. That will resonate with people. And if that, this example doesn't apply to your business or your store, you get the idea, I hope, hopefully.
Robert, I think you're hitting the theme concept really well. So if it's birding or things to do with your family, whatever those themes are, turn them into some sort of an experience, the experience of coming to the store to find it, and talk to somebody who's expert at it, or the experience that you'll have when you get home, and how that is. Now we're not actually talking about the thing anymore. We're talking about something that's human and genuine and personal, and that's why you shop local and not on Amazon. So it's a matter of using this messaging and the framing and the story and all that other stuff, human all the time. Find the themes that you need, find the ones that your customers are looking for, and fit your products into their needs.
Yes. Yeah, right on. Okay, so getting back to some tactical things, with events, here's a trick that I love to do, is if an event, even though you're not charging for it, if you put it on Eventbrite, and you create your event on Eventbrite and create free ticket, it's a free event, you're not going to get charged for it. And it helps you set up automated emails. Like when you registered for this class, you got an email like, here's the Zoom login. You could make automated emails. And then what you do is, once you have that event in Eventbrite, then you say connect it to Facebook. And then it automatically goes to Facebook and creates your event page on Facebook. And then when people see your event in Facebook, they're like, I want to register. They click and they use the Eventbrite registration system. And then when I want to email the people that, like I did a half hour before class, like, hey, everybody, here's some downloads and here's the login information because you probably lost it. Here you go. It makes it really easy. And also, Eventbrite has its own search engine capability and optimization. And some people are like, oh, I want to do an event. Let's go to Eventbrite and see what events are up. And they find your event, crafting events. Oh, they find that crafting event, Nevada City. Boom, you come up. Candle making tomorrow, noon. I'm on it. So that's a good tool I use, especially for free events. It's really great. Okay, so you have your posts, you have your themes, you've got your pictures, you've got your calendar, and you've set it up, and maybe even you've set it up and you've got these mad advanced social media skills, and you've scheduled your posts that is going to send out automatically based on that, so you can just focus on engagement and you don't have to worry about creating the posts. That is great. And now share it. And you share it to all these other groups like Nevada County Peeps. You have to go and say, share this event to Nevada County Peeps. And then you type this thing like, hey, Peeps, I just thought you're interested in this. So Nevada County Peeps has 20,000 members. There's a virtual shop group. There's, of course, the chambers, all these different, they all have new people to see your stuff. So you have to share it widely. Just posting it on your feed and you have, 400 people or 1,000 or 20 or however many people, it's a way to get it out there to way more people. So here's just a basic list of groups. You might have to join the groups. Be sure when you join a group to join as your business as possible, if possible, and read their guidelines and don't violate their guidelines, because some groups are like, no advertising allowed. And then you advertise on it, then you get booted, and it's not good. Sorry, Leah, this is just like update your website. I'm on website stuff. Update your website. But you have your messaging, and you do want to update your website with that messaging. You do want to say, like, here is the candle making kit. And that should be right up front, because your social media that's supporting all of this is driving people to your website to purchase, if that's what you so choose to do. So technically, if you need help updating your website, I think the resources available to you. And I'm more than willing to hang out afterwards and talk to you specifically about website updates. And as a matter of fact, anybody that wants to hang out afterwards, we could talk about this. You have your newsletter. You're going to take those 8 themes, those 3 themes, all those 24 posts, and just use those in the newsletter. You don't have to recreate all that stuff. You've already done the work. Ask partners to, I'll share your post if you share my post, kind of thing. There's event calendars to put your events on, and good old-fashioned flyers. What happened to good old-fashioned flyers? I'm seeing downtown, like in Callahan Park and stuff, the board is not full. There's room for flyers. Flyers still will work. Flyers are not dead. Use flyers.
Can I interject for a second? So, at our store, there are still a number of people that aren't aware that we have a website. So what I did, actually, I created like little quarter sheet flyers, stuck them by the register saying, visit our website, shop online. We still offer free wrapping, gift certificates, the services, so people can at least plant the seed in their brain that that's there and available.
Yeah.
So.
I recommend to most retailers that they have some sort of an in-store giveaway brochure about their store. So some sort of a handout that describes why you exist. It's a summary of the website, but if somebody's in your store, you want them taking it away, and you want them to know that you're not just a quaint little shop in a cute little town, that you're actually savvy and have websites and have an organization and a thought process that went into creating the presentation that you have. It'd be nice to know when you go to the museum that you're not going to see Chinese art and that you're going to see lots and lots of Egyptian art. So you should call out, if you're the museum, we do Egyptian art, and people should be able to remember that when they leave, especially if all they did was a quick tour and miss the whole point.
Yeah.
And it's inexpensive, 10, 20, 30 cents a copy, and people are walking away with your information right in their pocket, your best story right there. And they'll tell their friends.
Awesome, Tom. Thank you. Well, I've gone a little bit over. I hope that was helpful. And again, I'm more than willing to hang out and chat after this class. And now we're going to dig into Google with Kim Stewart. And Kim works for R&B Communication. They're a great website design development company locally. They're on the Rebound consultant list, and they're all about it. So if you want to take it away, Kim, thank you.
Thanks, Robert, and thanks for the invitation today. I always enjoy being part of these things. I like to meet new people, and it's hard to do that right now. So I'm seeing new faces, so that's really, really cool for me. Yeah, R&B Communications, a local marketing company, and I just started work with them a couple months ago, and I'm really, really happy with them. I think they're really great, upstanding people and a really nice holistic approach to everything they do. So I'm super proud to be on the team. So what I wanted to talk with you guys today about is Google My Business and the listing. Google already knows you're there. All you've got to do is claim it. And it's an online directory, but it does a lot more than that. So I'm going to try to share my slides. If I have any talent doing that, let's see, that's the button right there for sharing my slide. And how does that look? Black and white screen? Yep. Okay. So Google My Business is going to help you guys get more visibility. And you know, Google's the king. We got to play it Google's way, but they've done a lot of great things for us also. So one of the things they did with their, I'm going to shorten it to GMB, Google My Business, is they kind of took that whole search world and they shrunk it down so there's more accessibility for local searches and local business. And so today, I'll talk about Google My Business, and then I'm going to touch on how reviews affect your rankings and what reviews do for your business too. And that's my specialty at R&B Communications. I am the Reputation Management Specialist. All right, so let's see if I do this. Nope, I want to, hey, okay. I do need that Zoom class, don't I, Robert? Okay, so right before we go into Google listings and blah, 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 and everything else, let's just spend 2 really quick slides about local domination. Okay, so I work for a bunch of guys, so they like words like this, like local domination, you know, so you got to live with me with some of this funny stuff. But basically, you need a good marketing foundation, and I would say that most of you are 2/3 of the way there. You have a professional website, some platform, and you may or may not have your Google My Business listing claimed yet, and that's simple, it's free, and then the last thing is to work on your online reputation. So we feel really strongly that right there at the bottom, the marketing foundation is where you need to start. And yes, pay-per-click is important. Organic search on Facebook and all those other things are very important, but they're a little bit farther up on what we call that triangle to success. So think about how you can finish your marketing foundation so all those other things have more amplitude. So let's move to the next slide. So to establish your credibility first, that's what I was mentioning a minute ago. Your professional website, your Google My Business listing, and reviews, or your online reputation. That's what we feel like is that marketing foundation. And I'll specify digital marketing foundation. So what can you do now to get more visibility? Well, first of all, go grab your Google My Business listing. As I said a minute ago, Google already knows you're there. All you need to do is claim it. And then you can optimize it, post to it, update, make sure your info is accurate. We call it a NAP, which is N-A-P, your name, your address, and your phone number. It should be the same everywhere. So it's like my grandpa used to say, name, rank, and airspeed. Same idea. However your name appears or how you want to be remembered, that should follow you everywhere, because the more consistency you have, the easier it is for the Google search engines to find you. And there people are searching everywhere, and Google's gonna look at that relevancy. They're gonna go, oh yeah, they have a Facebook page with the same name and the same phone number. Oh yeah, they have a website with the same name and the same phone number. So be careful that if you're something of Grass Valley, that you don't mix it up. And like over here, you're called Grass Valley somethings. So make sure the order, punctuation, all that stuff is the same. And then once you create your Google My Business listing, request your customers to leave a review. It makes it really easy. There's a button right there on your Google My Business listing, and those are your testimonies. That's again one of those strategies that makes you no longer 2D on the screen. It makes you 3D, because people are going to click on those and they're going to hear all these great things that your customers are talking about you. And so that gives you that credibility, that gives you authority, integrity, and my favorite is vitality. And all that is happening before they even click through to your website or your Facebook page, or even before they pick up the phone. They're going to see reviews, and they're going to see you rated, and they're going to go, these people are alive and well, and they will click on those reviews and read them. So your best time, well, we'll get into that in a minute. So let me get down my list here.
Hey, can I just want to show everybody what we're talking about just for reference.
Yeah.
If that's okay, I'm going to stop your share for a second.
Sure.
And I am going to find where is my page?
Do I need to stop my share?
Yes, that might be.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Just because some people know about the Google listing, but just so is my browser window shared right now?
Yeah.
So can people see the Sierra Commons listing?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So if someone typed in Sierra Commons, then the area to the right where it says Sierra Commons, this is what Kim is talking about.
Yeah.
This is what shows up, and this is free to you. And so it's really, really important to get this information as the address to people. If they're doing it on their phone on the way to Nevada City, they could just click the call button and get to you all the different profiles and the reviews. So that is the Google My Listing free stuff. So I just wanted to show that. Kim, thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to elaborate a little bit on that coming up here.
I didn't mean to steal your thunder. I just thought it would be good for context right now.
Oh, no worries at all. Like you said, interrupt and blast in questions anytime you like. So I'll hit all these bolded topics briefly as we get farther. But the other thing you can do is customize your Facebook page tabs and get that reviews tabs in the front, the frontal lobe right there on the Facebook page. And then respond, engagement. Engagement, again, makes you 3D. It makes you real. Even on your Facebook events, there's discussions for you. Your events, ask questions as soon as you post that event and get people to engage. And it's so important now because we're missing personal connection. And I'm going to say personal connection a lot today because I really believe in it. So we need to reach through the screen. And that's how we do that, is with engagement. Let's see, click somewhere here. Okay, so what is Google My Business? And sorry, I am going to read a little bit from my slides because I just kind of threw these together quickly this morning. The link up there is where I'm getting all this, and it's from our website, rb-com.com. There's a blog link right at the top, and you can go down and look for digital marketing and then Google My Business. So you can go right back to all this information. And if you want my slides, I'll put them in PDF and send them to you on email. Okay, so Google My Business is an online directory, and it allows for engagement with customers through reviews and question and answer. There's a place for people to leave questions about your business. When are you open? Well, hopefully you're leaving that information updated all the time. Or do you have vintage dresses? Okay, so you're going to want to watch once you claim your Google My Business listing. So it uses a variety of Google search tools like search and maps that are all connected. So customers can find you no matter where they're looking. And it's more than just a static listing with information about your business. So what can you do with it? You can manage and respond to customer reviews. Post photos of your business in action. We were talking about Facebook earlier, but you can do this to Google My Business as well, because you get like a one-page kind of splash web page with it, and you can just post stuff there all day long. If you can post to Facebook, you can post to Google My Business. It's just as easy. Might even be one click easier. You can update your customers on your latest sales promotions. You can take pictures and post that something is on sale. And there's a section where you can add your products. It's not e-commerce. You're not going to be making sales through there, but you can post your products and you can post about your services. You can announce important changes about your business, like your hours. They even have, and I'll show you shortly, a button for COVID updates. So you can say, I'm sorry, we had to close today, but we'll be back open tomorrow or in 2 weeks. No, I'm kidding. That would be horrible. But really, you want to keep your clients updated. If there's like a street closure that wasn't planned and it's going to affect your business, great idea to post about that on Google My Business. Great idea to update hours and say, I'm sorry, you guys got to come and park on the south side because the north side's under construction. We didn't plan that today. And the reason you do that is because everybody is doing everything on this. So Google My Business was designed because people are walking or hopefully not driving, but they're looking for things through their phone. And Google My Business pulls all these helpful things together so you can be found this way. Oh, the best thing, it's free. It's totally free. It's been sitting there all this time. You can just go in there and grab it. It's free, and you can do it yourself. One other comment is we have our link up there, but if you Google My Business setup for merchants, Google My Business setup for real estate agent, there are hundreds of people posting how to set up your Google My Business listing, how to claim it, all the little steps to it, what address should I use. Those questions can be answered in more depth than we have here, but make sure you put what kind of business you are at the end of that search string, because I guarantee somebody has written a blog that says, oh, if you're a local merchant or you're a local restaurant, set your Google My Business up like this.
I might have a question for you. Oftentimes, like if you're a brick and mortar and you have a physical address, that's straightforward. You put your address to your business. How does service businesses, or I see some artists here that might not have on this call that might not have a brick and mortar. What do you do about that? Thank you.
Yeah, because Google My Business is really oriented for getting you found locally, like physically. So if your business is brick and mortar on the street, great. If you're a real estate agent and you don't want to advertise your home address, you tell Google My Business that you have a service area. So you can say, I'm a local artist and I sell my art in Northern California or just Western Nevada County. So you'll definitely want your email and your phone number available, but you won't have the address part unless you want to direct them to your front door. Because remember, Google My Business is going to try to put a map pin, you know, where you're at. So service area, short answer. That was the short answer.
Awesome, thank you. I didn't know about that at all. Thank you.
Am I
Yeah.
live? Can I ask a question?
Yes,
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. I tried to find a classification for my business when I went there, and there was nothing I could come close to, and it wouldn't take anything from me. And I tried a few of the blog posts, nobody seemed to know.
That is unfortunate right now. And that's just purely, you know, a Google thing. They're not aware of enough in a category. I don't know if that could be a quick change with a phone call with them. I know that they're moving a little bit slow lately. They're a little inundated with COVID things because everybody's kind of jumping on this. So yeah, that's unfortunate, Richard, and I don't have a solution for that. But yeah, there are some categories that just don't exist yet.
If you don't find something that matches them, they won't take you, it seems like. I couldn't get anything to post because I tried a lot of different things. I'm a grant writer and I tried writer, grants. The only thing that came up was typewriter repair.
Actually, I think I just tried to do that a few weeks ago for someone who helps edit novels, and we couldn't find a category for her. It was just a little too vague, I guess, or it was a little too wide. I'm not sure. I could try to find out some more from one of our dudes at R&B who's super smart on this stuff. And if you want to email me, I'll send it off to him and we can try to get somewhere.
What's your email?
Kim S at rb-com.com, and I'll have it at the end of this slide presentation too. So maybe we can get some more information from him.
Okay,
so
thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. And I don't claim to be a Google My Business expert. I'm going to give you kind of the gloss overs today, but there is just loads of information about it on Google. So just keep hunting around. Of course, you could always call me. I like to talk. Okay, so why would you even do Google My Business? If you already have a website and you already have profiles, why bother with another platform? But you know, 82% of people seek out local information on search engines, and so it's a great place to start to get visibility for your business locally. I think I have a little more information about searches. So what do you need to do? My little window here is in the way. There we go. So it looks a little different for each businesses. So merchant might look a little bit different than like a real estate GMB listing. But once you've claimed and verified your listing, you'll want to make your regular updates to it. And to set it up, okay, here we go. Robert, you touched on this. When I did a search on the Christian Science Reading Room for a client that's on Mill Street, on the left here is what I found. So this is not claimed on the left because there's only just a little bit of information there. The number that Google has found for them, they found their address. Their photos may not be exactly right, but that's where Google knows you're there. And so when you click on Own This Business, you're going to get the screen on the right here, and that you just want to click on Manage Now. And there you're going to add your name, your accurate name, address, phone number, an appropriate email address. You might want to be a little strategic with which email address you grab because you may have somebody else in your business who is helping you with this stuff. So maybe you want a Gmail account that everybody can get to so that, you know, it's not getting mixed up with your personal stuff. And then once you claim it and optimize it, look how on the right, the information changes. You get an update on the hours, and that's real time. You can see what their reviews and their ratings are, and you can click on those reviews and learn more about how the business is doing. Let me move my screen out of the way. And then at the bottom, here's an example of how All About Dogs, and this is here in Grass Valley, All About Dogs Training Center, they would post their classes. And they would post them regularly. Every time their 6-week classes would come up, they would post all those. So that's how they use the products feature. And there's also services. You can write extensively about your services. And all of that is relevant information for search engines, especially if you put those keywords in there. Some of the keywords that you may have used on your website, or think like your customer. I know Lazy Dog is a chocolateria. Did I say that right? But if somebody's gonna Google local chocolateria, they may not spell it right. They're a candy shop. So don't forget to put the basics in there. Lazy Dog Candy Shop. Think like your clients would think if they're gonna be looking for you. And then you can build those words into the description in your Google My Business. You can build those words when you talk about your services. All that's in there. It's very cool. So Google My Business listing, once it's claimed, your address, clickable link to maps, your hours, emergency closings, COVID updates, all that is right there. And it's right there before anybody even clicks to your website. They don't have to hunt for your phone number. Your vitals are right there. So it's super good for that. So maintenance, once you set up your profile, we've talked about this a lot already, is posting to it. Keeping it optimized means you're posting to it all the time and you're updating it. Depending on the type of business you have, you may be able to highlight services and products and promotions, just like Facebook. It's very simple. And so once you get into your Google My Business, you, through that email address, which is like your control account for this listing, through that logon and password, you get into the controls of your Google My Business page. And let's see, it says All About Dogs Training Center, the address, and then this menu. And so you're gonna wanna hit everything in there. And this is where you would post, is when you click the post button. And then Google My Business makes it really easy with these blue buttons or blue connections right on the top. Do you want to give a COVID update? Do you want to add an offer? Do you have any other kind of update? You can schedule an event. So if you do the Facebook event, come over here and put the same stuff in your Google My Business event. You can add products. It really makes it easy for you. You actually don't even have to think too much. The next menu item is info. That you're going to want to keep really accurate about your hours, your address, your vitals. What's really great is they also give you insights. They're going to tell you as more people visit what some of their habits are, what is getting the most clicks on. Is it your event or just that really cute picture of the dog? What are you getting attention on? And then you can structure your future posts based on those insights. And you don't have to do like some real fancy back-end SEO setup. It's all right here on Google My Business. Your reviews button is right there. You're going to go in and check those and talk to your people. Always respond to reviews, even if it's a simple thank you. They love you, they're praising you, say thank you. If you get a less than favorable review, more important than ever to respond. And it's up to you how you want to do that. Of course, you're always going to want to be extremely professional because this is public information. Don't get in a fight on the internet about something. Pick up the phone and talk to them, but do respond. I'm very sorry. We strive to make your experience good. Let's talk on the phone. That's always a great way to approach that. Messages. People can leave a question on your Google My Business listing. They'll be driving around the car. Hopefully they'll pull over and they'll say, I really want that vintage dress. I heard there's a vintage dress store. And so they find you. And then they're like, well, I'm going to just ask them a question. Because, people like to type nowadays more than picking up the phone. I know my kids are like that. So they may ask a question. Do you have Do you have 1920s vintage dresses? So pay attention to your listing every day. You may have questions come in, and that's engagement. That's great. It's great. That's connection. Of course, your products and services you can write a lot about, and then there's a link down there that says website. That is not necessarily your URL, your domain that you may already have. This is a one-page kind of splash web page that Google My Business offers you. So if you don't have a web page, you can use it like that, or you can use it with your web page. They're not going to cross over. They're not going to be one and the same. There's two separate places. So don't get it mixed up with your existing website. And then users is you can just add people in your business, which is a really good thing to do. Let's talk about that for a minute. If you can find or elect, and I like to call them ambassadors, 2 ambassadors in your business or even in your family that cares about your business to do some of this checking for you or responding for you. Because if you're running your business and you're out on the floor, but then you're also the accountant, bookkeeper, and you're also, you know, I know you guys are wearing a lot of hats. So delegate some of these, like this stuff, to the people who love your store. God, it could even be like your best customer, to go in and answer those questions and engage with people who leave reviews, especially if you could respond to a review within 24 hours. That's great.
Kim, I got a question for you. Why would you use the Google website functionality? And also just to mention that we have just a few more minutes for this section of the.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
That is a good question. I know here with All About Dogs, we did both. I think she just liked the idea that if people didn't want to go all the way to her website, they would have at least some basic information on this little splash page. So, you know, her classes were easily found. And then of course, those posts of a class have an embedded link that goes to another page of their website, and then they sign up from there. So maybe it was just thinking of another access point to the website without having to always just go to the home page and then, oh, I want classes, and then I want, you know, having that little page on Google My Business with their class post, their class advertise, boom, they go right to it. Access points. How's that for a short answer?
That makes a lot of sense, actually. To be super geeky, it uses the event meta tags. So when someone does a search like events near me, restaurants near me, it uses those.
That's right.
Tag. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, in fact, I wanted to say a little comment about that. So here's an example. So let's say you operate a clothing store in Grass Valley. When someone in your area searches for women's raincoats near me on Google, they'll see a list of businesses that sell women's clothing among other search results related to that keyword. So if your business is active on Google My Business, it's likely that you'll pop up in the local pack, which is, we call it the 3-pack. Hopefully you're the first 3 that come up. So you have a higher likeliness to pop up into that top of that list when you have your Google My Business listing. And frankly, you have reviews. Reviews do make a difference. They influence leads, and they are relevant because people are talking about your business. So that's that relevancy thing. When those search engines are going out and crawling and looking for things related to that keyword, it brings it all in that local spot. And here you are.
Cool. I'm hoping that you might be willing to stick around for the questions afterwards. And if you could maybe just summarize like some of the top, like why do Google My Business, that would be really great. And then we'll have time for Jessica's presentation.
Sure. So here's where on Facebook you want to make your reviews pop up here. So you go to settings and click on templates and tabs, and that's where you can adjust what you want to show up right there. That's a good optimization to do on how you want people to engage with your Facebook page. And when they click on reviews, I'm just going to go through these really short because I know, Robert, you want to get onto another section. When somebody clicks on a review on your Google My Business page, this is what they're going to see on the right here. They're going to see all these great comments about you. They're going to see your rating and the number, and then they can write a review right there. That's good. So do reviews affect local search? Yes, it does. All right, you can find me at that number. You can find me at that email address. I encourage you to jump into local groups and networking things. It just keeps you in the forefront. Because remember, all of us are doing business in the community, but all of us are your customers too. So it's good to always have those connections. We've created a group called Nevada County Small Business Mastermind, and we have like Thursdays at 4:30. We have an extremely goofy, laughing happy hour. We did it because we all needed laughing relief. We do networking too, but we try to make it fun for just that last half hour of the day. So click on that. So that's what I got for now. Take it away, Robert.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kim. I've come to some of the mastermind groups, and Kim is right. It is a lot of fun, and you just through osmosis, you pick up some business stuff, but it's not like this formal class. And I think some people drink their mocktails or cocktails, and there's a little social aspect to it.
Robert and Kim, how would one get involved in those masterminds?
Hey, if you just click on that link right there, I'll
I
add.
see.
Yeah, it's a request to be in the group, and I'll add you to the group, and I'll make sure you get the invites, and make sure you have a cocktail ready. Thursdays at 4:30.
Thank you.
That's
You're
cool.
welcome.
Kim, is this presentation something we could send out, or how they just review the video, or what's the best way for that?
Oh, I'm totally happy to put it in a PDF and email it to you or the group, or however you want me to send it around.
Just send it to me, and then I'll distribute it out to the people that signed up for the class.
Okay, I'm just going to add one more slide with some more resources about places to click through, and then I'll zip it to y'all.
Yeah, and one final thing is RMB offers free consulting on a variety of topics like reviews and your kind of your social clout, if you will, through reviews. And RMB also did a great in-depth 1-hour analysis of the Sierra Commons website, and I got tons and tons of great information about ways to improve the Sierra Commons website, some of which I've actually implemented. So
Right on.
yeah, it's a good company. So thank you, Kim.
Yeah, if you just email me and I can give you a free reputation report card. I spend my personal time and I crawl the internet and show you how you show up. So let me know.
Cool, thank you. All right, so Jesse is up. Jesse, thank you for your patience and participation. And there you're unmuted. And I'm gonna just let you take it away.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. All right, just a little background on me. I run the Nevada City Film Festival, which is the thing that I am most passionate about and love. And I also sit on 3 different boards for the Nevada County Arts Council, Nevada City Chamber, and then also for Sierra Gold Parks Foundation, which is our 3 state parks in Western Nevada County. My background is I was a journalist for close to 15 years and love storytelling and writing and interviewing, researching. And so I kind of just got more involved with marketing and PR out of necessity, because when I had moved back to Nevada County, there wasn't really anyone, the journalism field had kind of slowed down because of the recession, and businesses were just having kind of a difficult time you know, telling their stories, and social media was just beginning at that point. And so, you know, it was just kind of a natural inclination to look at new technology and ways that you can use it for storytelling and also benefit, you know, the community that I care so much about. So this is really meant to be like a down and dirty Facebook advertising 101. So it's just to a basic, you know, what can you do in the next 5 weeks for your businesses? And, you know, later on, you can probably start playing a little bit more and testing and experimenting. But this is just to kind of get you started. You know, how I learn is I just read story, you know, articles on the internet, and then I kind of see what works for me, and then for whatever organization or business that I'm, you know, representing or working with. And so, you know, these are just kind of some basic things that can be applicable to nonprofits, small businesses, and such. So, you know, one of the first things, and Robert really touched on this about marketing PR, is, you know, you've got to kind of first think about who's your audience. And no matter if we're approaching like a film shoot for the festival, or if I'm working on, you know, some sort of like rack card for a nonprofit, or, you know, whatever it is, I always kind of think about like, who is the person that we're trying to get there? And do that too with your ads. And you can also make different ads for different groups. And so you don't need to be kind of locked into this idea that, you know, maybe necessarily you only have one kind of customer. You know, most people in Nevada City, Grass Valley sell an array of goods. And, you know, I think that maintaining that core clientele, absolutely, but also, you know, Facebook has it where, you know, throwing $20 at something to see if it would stick is not like a huge investment, but could also help you learn about what it is you do. And I do that with the film festival all the time. Obviously, we serve a wide audience. I mean, we have people who are hardcore cinephiles and they like super indie movies, and then there's people who can watch The Lost Boys 50 times and that makes them happy. So, you know, it's everything in between. So with Facebook advertising, you know, it's the idea of like really determining who your audience is, and then, you know, kind of thinking about what is going to connect with them. So unlike Google, where you've got like these keywords, what you're doing is you're kind of thinking about an audience. And so like, for instance, with the film festival, we will, depending about, you know, what kind of movie we're showing, we'll dig down deep. And so if it's like an, you know, an outdoor, environmental, politically charged film, we can add that into when we're doing our Facebook advertising. So we're really targeting people who are socially active, you know, care about the environment, who are outdoorsy. You know, if it's a children's film, we can target parents with small children. We can target if it's, you know, certain age groups. So you can really, really kind of start to drill down whatever it is that you're promoting or marketing to that audience. And so Facebook offers 3 audience selection tools for their smart ad targeting. And your core audience, these are like reaching potential customers who don't know you exist yet. So those are like folks who have never been to the film festival, but they may have like an interest in, you know, independent film or art, storytelling, music, theater. They already have like those kind of inclinations. And so that's where you can kind of reach out to, you know, locations. So like, for instance, with the Film Fest, we know that people are willing to drive to come see the film festival. Or for this year, we did, we put all of our movies online. And so we definitely looked at core communities that we knew had like robust art scenes or film making scenes. So like Austin, Texas is a good example of that. Oxford, Mississippi has a great film festival. And so we kind of drilled down on those kind of locations. And so that's something for you guys to think about. Obviously, Nevada City, Grass Valley. We do have a lot of people, just from volunteering in the chamber office. We get a ton of folks that call from Reno that want to come and visit. Modesto down in the valley in the Delta. And then a lot of folks from Marysville, Yuba City, and then even like some Marin, Sonoma. So, if you have like what, everyone was talking about, like an event or something really special going on, like maybe you have an artist signing, or folks are totally willing to travel. And I realize with the pandemic, that's not necessarily the thing that we all want to have happen. But in reality, that's the folks, and I think everyone who has a business downtown Nevada City, Grass Valley will tell you, like, a lot of the folks that are showing up are coming from somewhere else. Now, if that's true in the next week, we're going to find out. But even at the beginning, it didn't stop people from coming to visit. Demographics, there's some things that are in your shops that are, and things that you sell that are more appropriate for different kinds of demographics. And so keep that in mind. Interests, if, like I was saying, like people who have, we showed a movie that was about this woman who ran across all of the national parks. And it was, we kind of targeted people who were interested in running, trail running, long distance running, because that storyline would be something that might have been of interest to theirs. And then people who have engaged with your Facebook page. And so you can actually, if they like your page or they have visited, you can tailor your audience to that as well. And then there's a really great link here for audience insights that you can click on, and that gives you a little bit more information, and you can, kind of delve a little bit deeper into that. Then there's these custom audiences, and these are for the folks who are already interested, in what you do. Maybe they already like your page, and then it gives you an opportunity to make even stronger connections. And so this is when we have a mailing list, and we can actually dump that list into, and there's a good little link here that shows you how to do that. So if you have like a mailing list, or any like contact information, like, even if it's like we were talking about, Tina's great video that she did for My Favorite Things. Her husband is our tech director, Zach. Tina, when she started her business, she really relied deeply on her connections from the snowboard industry. She was a professional snowboarder. And so, she reached out to those people that had bought her book, who, that she had known over the years. And that's how she kind of started, marketing what her new business was. And obviously it's grown above and beyond the snowboard friends and family that she'd had. And you've got people who know her just for her Glitter Girl stuff and My Favorite Things, but she really relied heavily on her own personal contact list at the very beginning. And like I said, we dump our email list into it. And so it helps us kind of, sometimes it's like all those different kinds of points of entry, or in fundraising, they call it touches, right? It takes like 7 to 8 touches before you get a donation. And, traditionally that would have been 7 or 8 direct mailings to you. But now that's totally different. It's, things that sometimes I feel like you think something in your head and all of a sudden you start seeing Google ads. So I don't know how that works, but I'm sure there's a way. But that's, it's kind of like the contact list. You dump it in there, and you can reach out to those folks that already are on your Facebook and also in your newsletters.
I think it's because your microphone is on and Google and Facebook are listening.
And it goes through your Alexa app too.
Yes.
Every morning, good morning, Jesse. It totally freaks me out. So there's a really good link right here. One of the things, a good tool is this Facebook Pixel, and it helps you to create an audience for the people who are visiting your site. So take a look at that, and there's a really good tutorial and ways that you can go ahead and implement that. And then there's lookalike audiences, which is for reaching people who are similar to your clients. So let's think about like who comes into your shop or who purchases things online, and how do we get more of those kind of folks? And there's a really good link right here that shows you how to create a lookalike audience, and it's super, super easy. Then there's this idea of you need to choose the right type of Facebook ad. And oftentimes I put myself into those shoes and think about like, what as a customer, what do I want? And I do this a lot with like filmmakers, what as a filmmaker, what would be kind of like the ad that would make me want to submit my film to the film festival? Or if I was, looking at watching some online film festivals, what would make me click on that and pay a certain amount of money so I could watch online? And that goes for everything. It's, it doesn't have to be film festing. It can be literally anything that's happening out there you're potentially selling. So we're visual creatures. We like to see, even though obviously we know I'm not a graphic designer because I just did a basic Word document, but there are some other really great ways to create like quality visual and catchy messages. If anyone has ever used Canva, it's a really great app. And you guys would be super surprised to know that the county uses that for most of all of their postings for COVID and PPE, which I think is kind of hilarious. They don't have like an in-house graphic designer. It's the folks in public health are using that app Canva to create all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, if it's super easy, it's got some kind of preloaded colors and images and fonts. And so it does definitely make it easier. I know when Leah was, doing her website, and then also with JJ Jackson's, we had a professional photographer, Kat Alves, come in and take some gorgeous indoor shots. They're very welcoming, they're beautiful. And she was able to use that for her website and also for her social media. She could definitely still take some of those images that Kat took and add and make great ads out of them, because they are very beautiful, engaging, and makes you want to like step through the doors and go shopping. So definitely think about creating some really nice looking stuff. Everyone who has an iPhone now, I mean, it's one of the best cameras out there. So you don't need to go get like a high powered camera or anything like that. The other great thing is if you're shooting photos from your phone, and even now there's, with the new iPhones, there's that portrait model. And so it kind of makes everything in the front, very kind of high def, and everything in the back's a little bit more blurrier. So it ends up helping showcase, something very special that if you were trying to sell, you could use that. And then you can just directly upload it to your Facebook page or whatever it is, and Instagram, and create that ad, put it in the Canva app, add some text on top of it, easy breezy, and Facebook even has that too. These are just some of the character counts and the image ads that are suggested by Facebook. Headlines are 25 characters, which is super short and snappy. Link to descriptions are 30 characters. I always have really hard time with that because I'm like an over explainer, over teller, over sharer. So I always have to keep like telling myself, keep it simple, keep it stupid. Who is the audience? What's the kind of verbiage that's going to attract them? Robert touched on that in the beginning, which is handmade, artisan, unique. What is it that are those kind of like buzzwords? I was looking at a local business in Nevada City. They kind of have used the California swagger, and I thought that was kind of sweet. Gold Rush California swagger. So whatever it is that kind of helps give a better idea of like what it is that you do, what's in your store, and how people can learn more and attach themselves to it. So there's this other great link right here that you guys can use. It's the Facebook text overlay tool, and it helps you go ahead and put text on it. So just to give you, this is Target, which is you know, probably not a good small business example, but you guys kind of get the idea of like, it's super short and snappy, whatever it is that the ad is for. The product is laid out really, you know, it's not that clever or nice to me, but you get it. And then it tells you what it is over here. There's that text overlay. So, I mean, depending on what it is that you're selling, you know, think about rules of thirds with photography. You never want to have anything in the middle because, you know, just it's a little bit easier on the eyes for us to understand information if you display it in rules of thirds and break it up into thirds. That's that idea. And so, you know, it's an example of how you guys could utilize that and do it on your own. The other thing is video ads. So that would be, you know, what we were talking about. If you went to, you could do a tour of your store, but you could also do a product review. So you've probably been on REI's site or some other kind of like Sephora, you know, any kind of big box chain that has, you know, a huge marketing department that does this stuff all day long. But, you know, if there's certain products that warrant, you know, the uniqueness of a video, I think that that's great. You know, to hear wind chimes is much more engaging than to see a picture of wind chimes. You know, if a birdhouse is being used by a bird, it's definitely a lot more interesting than seeing a flat image of a bird. And so, you know, kind of think about like what warrants a beautiful photo with text versus what warrants a video ad. And then when you go into your Facebook ads, it's the same method of uploading that. Instead of a JPEG, it becomes an MP4 file or .mov file, and you just upload it there. And there's a little bit more kind of like the things that you have to keep in mind for when you're posting video ads. Then there's the carousel ads, which we've all seen those. That's when you have multiple things that you're selling. And so you're going to have multiple photos and, you know, text that are laid on top of it. And so, you know, maybe it's a line of stuff that you're selling. Maybe it's all your children's things. Maybe it's all your body care stuff. Maybe it's that end of the year sale that you've got everything on sale for 20% off, and you're putting like, you know, the most kind of like interesting special things out there. So that's when you would probably use like a carousel ad. And then this is a little bit, this is for the folks that already have like online stores like Shopify, and you can create these things called dynamic Facebook ads. And this is where you take the things that are already on your website, and then we can immediately put them into your business manager account, and we go back to that Facebook pixel, and then you're able to upload your product catalog and then set up your campaign that way. And so that's a little bit more higher level, but there's great tutorials on Facebook that will show you how to do it. And go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I have a question for you.
Sure.
A while back, I was like, hey, Jesse, people are always asking me, like, who's good at social media? Who can I hire to, you know, do social media posts? And you said something that really stuck with me, which was, you know, you really need like a graphic designer, not a social media, you know, an old school social media, someone, you know, that I think is like, oh, I can post and I can hashtag, and it's like, it's all about the visuals. And so looking at, you know, these examples you're giving, there's product photography, and there's good product photography, even lifestyle photography. I get that business owners can go with their iPhone and take pictures of products. But what do you feel about like stock photography, or like even, you know, good stock photography, if you could accept that there is such a thing? Like, how do you make it visually pleasing if you're limited in your visual resources?
Yeah. So Leah and I had this conversation a while back. You know, I think that a lot of the vendors that businesses are working with now, I mean, you're going through product catalogs and you're going online and you're buying stuff just the same way that, you know, your customers are. So because folks aren't going to quote unquote trade shows or gift shows or that kind of stuff where you would typically fly to Vegas and you'd walk around a big floor and, you know, say like, I want that, I want that, I want that. And then you'd fill out the paperwork. It's the same kind of thing now where the vendors that you're buying from have to provide you guys with good stuff. And so if you are able to repurpose some of the stuff from them, you know, let them do the hard work with the product shots, and even you can use their descriptions, you know, so you don't have to like be forced into this, I have to be like a product writer and you know, a A1 photographer. But on the flip side, it's always nice to make it unique and special to your store. So like, for instance, Tysa is a clothing store in downtown Nevada City, but she has a store in Southern California and she also sells online. And it's clothing that most of the stuff that they sell is their stuff. And so when she's selling to her Southern California market, and it's like boho dresses and clothing like that, you know, you can see a very distinct backdrop, which is desert, Southern California, you know, and when she's kind of promoting and marketing stuff and up here, it's very much more, you know, crunchy, woodsy, rustic. And so she tailors her photos and what she's, you know, selling to specific clientele in specific areas, going back to like that demographic stuff. But, you know, it's amazing what you can do with good light, you know, and that's what product shots are all about. So like natural light is amazing. And if you've got someone wearing something in a beautiful location, that will definitely help with a lot of the work. Or if I noticed a couple of the folks who took the first rebound class, Foothill Mercantile is a good example. They created like a little light box and they were able to put their product stuff in there and just take photos. And so, you know, a lot of people sell stuff online like Poshmark and things like that. And so people are kind of got savvy. There's lots of different things that you can read on the internet on what's the best way to take a product shot. We did that even with the film festival. We got a bunch of merch this year, and I used a lot of stuff that came from the vendor, but then also I just, you know, put it up against a white wall, took some photos and did a couple of like Photoshop editing on it and was able to, you know, put it online and then create our own little store and do some ads around that. So
great. That was super helpful. And just as a heads up, we're pushing.
I know I'm gonna rush through this super fast. So there's ways that you can go ahead and use, you know, instead of having to like think about where you want to place things, Facebook, you can do automatic placement, which they kind of do the heavy lifting for you, and they connect you with audiences that they think your ad will most likely succeed with. Some of the things to think about when you're planning out your Facebook budget, you know, I mean, you can spend $20, $100, $1,000, and you may get the same results that you get with $1,000 as you did with 20. It just kind of depends, but it's really kind of thinking a little bit out, like further down the road of like, you know, what's my budget? What is a good question to start with? But really what you need to kind of think about is like, what's your goals? Like, do you want to grow Facebook fans? You know, we always talk about that with the film festival, like the beginning of the year, we're trying to grow our fan base so we can later sell to them. Or is it that I want to get email subscribers? So what you can do is instead of saying, you know, shop now, it can be sign up. And then I get their contact information and I can sell to them later. Or is it just, I want to sell that t-shirt? And so you got to kind of think about that. And there's a couple really cool links here, track the right metrics. And then here's another one, ad calculator tools that kind of help you figure out your Facebook ad spend. And then there's some kind of little tips and tools on, you know, how to set your schedules so you can save money and customize your ad placements. And then here's, this idea that great ads lead you to an even greater website. And so if you're selling online through Facebook, we definitely want to make sure that the ad matches the website, so it's consistent. It feels like you haven't gone to a different vortex, but it's the same company, the same person that you wanted to buy from, and it's still engaging and interesting. And then just kind of some other little tips on how to keep your Facebook ads images simple and nice, and some of the language and all that kind of stuff. And then the end is just test everything. Like we do this all the time with the film festival, and I actually have a lot of fun with it. I know like all this stuff seems like, oh my God, I have to do another thing. But I think, it allows you to be creative, and it allows you to like have a deeper, more holistic understanding of your business, and you'll kind of be surprised. It's a little bit like gambling, and it's also kind of exciting to get like, those kind of results back when you've got likes and, engagement and, obviously sales at the end of the day. And I am finished.
That's it?
Unless you want more, but that's okay. We only got 8 minutes, so.
Wow, that was really great. I recently have gone through Facebook, getting a lot of the infrastructure put together. And I thought oh yeah, I do Facebook ads. And I was in the business manager and the ad manager and the uploading the custom lists and the audiences. And I'm like, whoa, there's a lot here to do. I guess there's different levels of, I could just make an ad and send it out and see what happens. And then there's like really using all the tools. And so that list you provided is really fantastic. So thank you. Hey, Jerry Ann.
I've been here the whole time.
I know, I've seen you. Yeah.
I just finally wanted to thank you guys because I thought it was really excellent. I got a whole bunch of nice points.
Good. And you got any? Well, this is now we're open to questions. So do you have any questions?
Not me.
Yeah. I'm going to toss something out. How, Jesse, you were saying about that, let's say you carried a thermometer, and then you go to the thermometer manufacturer and say, send me your photos of the thermometer so I can use it on my website. And I know like you're an artist, Jerry Ann, I guess I don't need to tell you that. But, I'm wondering if artisans, maybe not, like maybe you have stuff in galleries, but not so much that, but let's say artists made earrings and they sold the earrings, a bunch of different stores or several different stores carry the earrings. Is it typical that earring artist would provide pictures to the store to help advertise? Do they do that?
Oh, definitely. Otherwise you won't sell an earring. No, it's and the Google Me page is great because at least you put an array of earrings there or something, and then somewhere else you can put a list of stores you're at or whatever. So it's all good. Yeah, artists have to have the visuals, otherwise there's nothing else to do. We only do visual. Yeah.
Okay. So we're open to questions. Any Google My Business questions or anything? Kelly, do you have any suggestions about writing content? You're a content writer, social media marketing.
Well, I just loved the wealth of knowledge that has been brought to us today. I think everyone hit on a lot of the the points already, but I am available if anyone feels overwhelmed by doing any of these things themselves. I'm available to help you with that marketing plan and do some of the writing for you, take some of the responsibility off your plate. So if anyone needs any additional assistance, feel free to contact me.
Could you put your email in chat, please?
Sure.
Ellen, you, I think it's like you're the poster child of awesomeness as far as getting online and hustling and trying new things. And any words of wisdom you'd like to share?
Just keep pushing ahead. I mean, even if it's baby steps, just keep going. Even if you just, and that's a lot of it, because there are times it's like, so, just so everybody, there's so much stuff in our store. There's like over 24,000 items, and it's just, there's just a lot there, and it can get overwhelming because it's like, oh, we need to do this and this and this and this and this and this and this, and it's like, and there's just so many moving parts that there are times it's like you just gotta get back down to the basics, slow down, focus on one thing at a time. And even if don't feel like you're getting something done, or if you just feel like you're just swimming and treading water, or you're just feeling like, oh my God, I can't do this, I suck. It's just like, you need to just like let that talk wash away, settle down, and just focus on one thing at a time, and remind yourself that everybody's struggling. Everybody's doing the best that you can, and you're doing fine. You're doing better than you think you're at. And I have to tell myself that every single day, multiple times a day sometimes. So.
Great advice, Ellen. There's actually a book I'd recommend to everybody. It's called The Slight Edge, and it's specifically talking about that principle. Is like, just one little thing at a time does eventually build to something greater, and just making notice of those things for yourself daily is important, even if it's just a little bit here and there. You got something done. And I can put that link in the chat too.
Cool. Well, I'm feeling pretty inspired. I came into this class with that exact feeling of like, oh gosh, not doing enough. These businesses are really struggling. What else can I do? And then I actually looked at the Sierra Commons Facebook page, and I just looked over the last several posts, and I'm like, oh yeah, we're doing what we can. Like, everyone's doing what we can. So we're here to help. There's lots of resources. You weren't nowhere to find me, and this is a great community. I'm honored to be a part of it. And thank you for participating, everybody.
Thank you.
I'll put the video up, what I have of it, on the Sierra Commons website, and share it. So thank you, everybody.
Yay, thank you.
Bye.
Nice meeting everyone. I hope to see you around town someday, safely.
Absolutely. Have a great day. Thanks for everyone's input.
Bye, everybody.